By now, you know that September 20th, Canadians are going to the polls to vote for a new federal government. And one of the hottest topics in government today at a federal level is the cost of housing. And each one of the four major federal political parties has put together a housing platform so we know where they stand should they get elected. And today I'm going to give you my highlights and lowlights of each one of those platforms so you can hopefully make a better educated decision if you think housing is one of the major topics in consideration for your vote. And please, if you could just hit the like button to help get this video out to more people that are having trouble making a decision of which way their vote's going to go come September 30th. Now, if you missed this video that I just put out a few days ago, it covers the Liberals' entire platform. So I'm not going to cover it here immensely, but let me pop back in really quick to the Liberal platform. The Liberals made it easy. Look at this. They made a website where I can see exactly where they stand, and they break down every single point that is you can just check it out for yourself. If it's most important to you, it's really easy to find the information on their website. But just a quick recap here of the plan for the Liberals. Everybody's going to say we're going to build more houses. So let's just take that one off the table. I think the NDP said 500,000. Then the Conservatives said 1 million houses. And now I think the Liberals are saying something like 1.4 million houses. So everybody's just like, I'm going to build more than you. So kind of a moot point there. Housing starts are obviously very important. The Liberals actually do have a very good plan to support local governments by funding them, obviously, to then help encourage future building and new home starts. Now, the genius of Justin Trudeau and his government so far has been, let's wait for one of the other ideas from either the left or the right, and we'll introduce that in our platform. And then we'll get some of those voters. And that's exactly what they've done. As soon as the Conservatives came out and said, hey, we're going to ban foreign ownership or foreign purchases for 2 years, well, then the Liberals jumped on board and announced that they, for 2 years, also want to ban foreign buyers from purchasing altogether. But personally, I think the Liberals have missed a lot. The real negative with their platform for me is what they're obviously putting as a positive. They want to introduce a buyer's bill of rights. So essentially what they want to do is manipulate the market by no longer having a closed bidding system. And they want to move more to an Australian system where houses are basically sold at auction. Their view on this is that buyers will then know what the other people are willing to pay, and that will bring house prices down. However, have you ever been to an auction? My experience at auctions is people just like to win, and so they end up paying more than they should, like my wife at a charity auction. The other side of that is if you're not going to sell your home at auction, they actually want to make it a criminal offense for the seller to not sell their house with open bidding. So to me, it's taking away the rights of 50% of the population to try and benefit the other 50% of the population. And at the same time, they say that you should have the right to a home inspection. Again, sentiment here, great. Yes, everybody, we're all thinking about young buyers going into a property where they feel pressured not to have a home inspection, therefore buy something without having the proper education. You can put yourself currently in a position where you have an inspection done prior to an offer. So it's really unclear what it is being said here about this mandatory home inspection thing. I think the sentiment here is great, but you have to also consider that this will, I think, push house prices up. And here's why. I, as a buyer right now, can offer on your property with a fixed price and either have or not have my home inspection. But if I waive my home inspection and therefore less conditions for you, the seller, you may actually sell me the home for less because I know it's a done deal now and I don't have to wait for a home inspection done, of which we could find problems, and then the buyer may come back and renegotiate. So home inspections waiving home inspections, do have the possibility of even bringing home prices down, believe it or not. So I think this is not very well thought out. And of course, there's no details on the website, so I can't really comment further on it. So I'm just editing this video, and I don't think I made that point clear enough. If you remove the possibility of a buyer that can remove their home inspection and everyone has a home inspection, now price becomes more important. So only the higher price will get you the home. And the fact that you won't have a home inspection can't save you any money. So that is ultimately what will drive up price. All right, now let's get into the NDP. They probably have the second best website from what I found, but you still have to scroll through and read an entire whole bunch of jargon just in paragraph form, not as easy to read as the Liberals. The big things I took away from this were the 20% foreign buyer tax. They want to add a national 20%. So they're not saying, no, you can't buy here if you're foreign, but we are going to take the tax. What I'm interested to find out at that point, in places like Vancouver and Toronto, where they already have about a 20% tax, is that now going to be a 40% tax, which means there will be absolutely no foreign buyers because they're not going to buy property if they have to pay 40% in tax plus transfer taxes. The part I loved about the NDP's platform was this paragraph here that talked about GST and the federal portion of the GST that would then be waived for new affordable renting starts. So if you're going to build an affordable rental property, they're going to waive your GST, which would then make it a heck of a lot easier for those builders to start and encourage building. Like, that's what we have to do. We have to increase supply and encourage building. So I think the NDP really have a very, very good idea with that one. But this whole thing is about affordable housing. And the NDP's idea is, well, in order to make housing more affordable, you have to have more people qualify for a mortgage. So here's what they've done. They've said that they are going to let CMHC increase their amortization for their products to 30 years. The problem with increasing amortization for first-time home buyers or anybody less than 20% down is the fact that, well, that's just going to cause house prices to go up. I don't know if anybody remembers 2006, 2007. At one point, we could do 0 down, 40 years, and that was not good for affordability. It caused prices to go up extremely quickly. So if the NDP wants to put in increased amortization for high ratio mortgages, all that's going to do is not do exactly what they want to do and get housing more affordable. It's actually, again, going to cause housing prices to go up. Now, moving on to the Conservative Party, what a pain. You just have to go down here and click on the plan, read the plan, and it's going to bring you to an absolutely ridiculous 83-page document. The good news is Mr. O'Toole here looks fantastic in his tight shirt. I hope it, when I'm his age, I look that good in a tight shirt. I might trim up the do and maybe go bald head if I was losing that much hair. I am losing that much hair. But hey, man, he's putting it out there, and why not? Yeah, like I said, if I was that good looking at that age, maybe I would have enough energy to scroll through these 80 some odd pages of absolute, I don't know, this is like some sort of college paper. But scroll long enough and you will find their housing policy. And their housing policy, as I said earlier on, ban foreign buyers, of which the Liberals just were like, hey, that's a great idea. Why don't we also do that? So they want to ban foreign buyers in a 2-year trial period. But what I like best about the Conservative platform from what I saw is the deferral of capital gains if you're into rental properties. And the States already has a program similar to this. If you're going to have some sort of rental property, now this could be big multi-million-dollar apartment buildings or whatever it is. If you go to sell that property, you're going to have, let's call it 20% tax. You're going to pay 20% of your lift. So let's say your profit on that property is $500,000. You're probably going to pay $100,000 towards capital gains. Now, I know in the States, if you do this, your capital gains can then be deferred. So as long as you're going to a bigger property or a more expensive property, you can defer that $100,000 and now you have your whole $500,000 to invest in the next bigger, better rental property, therefore bringing more rentals to the market and causing rent prices to go down. Now, the tax is still payable in the future, but it's deferred. So it actually encourages people to bring rental stock to the market. So I think the fact if they brought that to Canada and you could buy a rental property, defer your taxes for the future, and then increase to a bigger, better rental property, I mean, there's nothing bad that I can possibly see about that. But where the Conservatives really missed out is this silly idea that they have of messing with the stress test and possibly reducing the stress test. The sentiment is that if we reduce the stress test, more people will qualify for more housing, which sounds great. But the stress test is there to protect us from ourselves. If more people qualify for more housing, house prices will go up because demand will go up, and we haven't yet solved the problem of not having enough housing. So I think the stress test is a good thing, and if the Conservatives get in, they are talking about reducing the stress test, and that will cause house prices to go up, exactly what everybody doesn't want. And I'm gonna just cover the Green Party super quick because I don't view them as any real chance of making any of this policy. I don't even think they think they're going to get close to it, so I don't think they've made the proper policies. At this point, they've come out and said, yeah, we want to tax empty homes. Fantastic, I guess. And they want to get this redefine affordable housing. So they're busy talking about the definition of what affordable housing is, rather than trying to do anything about it. So again, I don't really view them as a viable option, and I don't think they've really considered housing, to tell you the truth. So let me sum it up for you. Everybody's saying, hey, enough with the foreign buyers. We're going to either tax them or not have them at all. Everybody's got their idea about building more houses, and everybody that comes out says, I'm going to build more houses than you're going to build. But the big changes that are being proposed with the Liberals open bidding, the NDP's extension of amortization, or the Conservatives relaxing the stress test are all, I'm sorry to tell you, going to cause prices to go up. There is only 3 fixes to prices going up. One is interest rates. You increase interest rates, prices will not go up. The only trouble with that is your payments don't come down. So affordability is still the same problem. You just actually have a lower sticker price. Number 2 is you stop people from coming into the country and slow down immigration. Currently, I think we're at 250,000 people. The Liberals are pushing over 400,000 people a year. So with all those people coming and already a housing crunch, it's only going to get worse. And then that leads us to number 3. The way to fix it is increase supply. And well, that's just not happening in a timely manner. So all of these platforms are talking about regulation and what we're going to do to try and either get more people into the market, which will cause prices to go up, or they're talking about regulating the market further, which is trying to turn down demand rather than really spending their time and efforts in trying to turn up supply. There you go. I hope this helps you make a better decision on September 30th for you and your family's needs. While you're here on the channel, please subscribe and check out a couple of other videos. Make sure to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and we'll see you in a couple of days.